T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast, the podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Eric Fiskus and Grady Liming.
Because, hey, we play it by ear.
Hey. Hey.
Don't you love Ohio weather? 78 degrees one day, 52 and rainy and misty and nasty the next.
And 38. And then the kiddos, we went to a corn maze and a pumpkin farm.
Gairn.
In the Gairn maze, got the infants of the Gairn. But it was so dusty. It was like, it's like an outpost in Rabat, Morocco or something. It was very dry and dusty. Now everybody in my home is...
It was arid. If you say Morocco, you have to say the word arid.
It's a dry heat. No, it was a pleasant out. The sky was beautifully blue and everything, but it was just so dusty. I got home, went, and like dust was spewing, like I'd been stored in a closet for a while. Interesting. We're going to visit this topic here in a moment, but...
Gotcha. Hello, Savannah.
Savannah. John.
What?
There's a commercial that had a heavy present come in like a wrecking ball presence and left quickly because people were so sick of it.
Yeah, it was funny.
If you don't know what we're referring to, the Budweiser commercial where everybody greeted each other with that, and they would do that back and forth. For the first couple times, it was funny until everybody started.
Funny the first 1,282 times.
Until you start being in public and you'd start hearing, because people were just parroting it.
Yes. That was rather annoying.
Hello,
Wilson. Maxwell.
Howdy.
Mrs. Wilson.
Howdy.
Mrs. Wilson. She always hated that. Am I wrong, Miss Wilson? Did you always hate that? Of course, the younger kids probably didn't know Dennis the Menace. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Remember Dennis the Menace. But anywho, if you haven't checked in, please do so, or I guess you don't have to, but we always like to know who's here. As always, feel free to comment. Your comments add to our show, make it much better. Yes, John. Hello.
You guys are the spice and the ingredient to our main course.
Indeed. All right. If you've never been here before, you can chime in. We will talk 20-ish minutes on a topic. We will probably exhaust said topic. We never talk 20-ish minutes. Just a loose. Okay, there's a word I'm looking for. I can't find it, but a loose constriction of
suggestion.
Paradigm. A light paradigm. I like that word. A light suggestion. Yes. Double L. I think in our senior yearbook, I think it was Mrs. Wilson with about 32 L's. I think that was the page. I was not responsible for it. Brady, you were on your book committee. Were you responsible for that?
No, actually, I wasn't.
Liar.
I was not a yearbook staff person.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, I was not. Didn't have anything to do with it. Because keep in mind, like back then, back in our day, nothing was digital, so all that photography work had to be hand cropped and just aligned, and it was just. I mean, it was I'm sure it was enjoyable for some, but the 15, 16, 17-year-old me,
Back in the day before graphic design software.
Correct.
Yeah, too much near cutting and things. That's too much. She said, "Not really. It was fine. It was better than one class who called me Mrs. Will." Like that. All right. So I put us in this order, Brady. I can't remember who went first last week. Was it me or you?
I believe it was me.
Okay, well then I will go first. Again, welcome your comments to the topic. The topic is kind of piggybacking off of what we did last week. Last week we did best of AITA. Am I the end use? Today it is best of, and this is from the year 2016. Although, to doing this in any particular year doesn't really matter. But it's TIFU. Today I blanked up.
Fouled up.
Yes.
Farned up.
Phil Foul.
Farn.
Yeah. Okay. So this particular setup treats it like an award. Like they have several different categories. So it says, as the new year comes to a close, we have had many things from awkward text messages and electrocuting ourselves in the shower to exploding in now God-forsaken fields or sitting on wine glasses. Let us reflect upon some of the best blank ups this year has brought us. So again, this is from 2016. But, all right. This is the first place overall winner, and I was just kind of looking at it because it gives a title, and as God is my witness, I really don't. Just looking at the title, I'm like, why would someone do that? Okay. So this is the overall winner from 2016. TIFU, by injecting myself with leukemia cells. Yeah, see? All right. Title speaks for itself. I was trying to inject mice to give them cancer. I guess this guy works in a lab. And accidentally poked my finger. So it makes me think of the movie Outbreak. You remember when he's looking at all the positive. Or no, she's the one that injects herself or cuts her finger with the.
I thought it was an outbreak. I thought it was a monkey bite.
No. She infected herself. Renee Russo infected herself by injecting her finger.
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm following. Sorry.
All right. So the person accidentally poked her finger. It started bleeding, and it's possible that the cancer cells could have entered my bloodstream. Currently patiently waiting at the ER. Wish me luck, Reddit. So, this person sitting in the ER just having poked themselves with leukemia cells, and they wish me luck. All right. So just to clarify, mice don't get T-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia naturally. So in order to do that and do studies, you have to inject them with it. So that's why the situation occurred. Update of the situation. Hey guys, sorry for the late update, but here's the situation. Doctor told me what most of you guys have been telling me. So obviously the comments went on. And my immune system will likely take care of it, but if any swelling develops, I should come see them. My physician was very concerned when I told her, but we are hoping for the best. I filled out the workers' comp form just in case. So that's
wow.
the winner. That's the winner, and that's that's strong. Strong
That's a
point.
strong today. I fouled up. That's like,
Yeah.
you know, I can't even riff funny about that.
No, that's serious stuff there. All right, so second place winner, TIFU, by causing an explosion 40,000 feet above the Atlantic Ocean on an international flight.
It's frowned upon.
Indeed. All right, so guy says, I was running a bit late for a long haul flight from Delhi, that's a Cincinnati,
Delhi.
Delhi to London. So I quickly brought some snacks and shoved them in my travel bag as I ran to the boarding gate. About 4 hours in, whilst, uses the word whilst, I like that, whilst half the people were asleep and the other half were getting annoyed that the TVs had stopped working, there was a massive bang and the whole plane launched into hysteria. I can't even explain how loud it was, especially given the plane was in near silence. Immediately, every baby started screaming as loudly as they could, and every mother started crying madly. It didn't help that it was pitch black either, so all the flight crew running around amongst the panicking masses couldn't see where they were going at all. So just ran straight into the passengers as they jumped out of their seats. The people who had been sleeping woke up to a scene normally saved for a badly produced film. Needless to say, also began maniacally hyperventilating. So this guy does a really good job of setting the scene here. I mean,
Oh.
oh my. So continuing on. After a few minutes of sheer terror, the lights came back on and everyone gradually calmed down. My travel bag was revealed as the source of the blast, obviously to my surprise, and was carefully opened. Tons of what looked like sawdust / powder fell out onto the chairs below, and once again, everyone freaked out for a few seconds. So, as it turns out, in India, they hyperinflate their crisp / chip packets so the contents don't get crushed. They're also dirt cheap, so I bought about 8 packets. The pressure built up as we ascended. When the plane jolted from the turbulence, they all blew up simultaneously.
This isn't funny, but it is.
Oh yeah, it was not funny if you experienced it in real time, but very hilarious reading it. So yeah, that's
Yeah, that's a mess up. But you can't blame him. He didn't know that they, put more PSI in a crisp egg
no, I
in
mean,
India.
Who would know about Indian
Yeah.
snack food practices? It's.
Pardon me for not being well schooled in the inflation of snack packaging. Like,
in
and I can see some
in
judge.
Mumbai.
Ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law.
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah.
We have an Indian contingent on this show. I mean, about 25% of our listens, are almost 17,000 listens, have come from India. So if you are of the Indian contingent and watching this show, I would be interested
Let us know about this.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know if this is a common occurrence that happens, and people are just kind of used to it there, or.
I like the word crisp. I had a student who had immigrated from England and was a fourth grader, and well, actually was my student. I had lunch duty, and this dear child walks up to me like the second day of school. It's like, "Excuse me, where does one get the bags of crisps?" And I'm like, "Oh, right over there." It's like the cast of Harry Potter started speaking to me,
It's like, would you like more porridge too, Oliver Twist?
Can I have some more?
Some more porridge. All right, Maxwell, sounds like a Christmas story. Yeah, it's something along those lines. Miss Wilson, these people should have been nominated for the Darwin Awards.
Oh, I I just really feel for the guy. I mean, he's probably mortified. I mean, really, To be honest with you, I mean, I could see me getting a couple bags of chips where they were cheap and sticking them on a plane.
Well, this
Would
guy
you
got.
know that they would combust into a
Oh, well, no.
explosion?
I mean, this guy got 8 bags, and they all exploded at the same time. Now you remember, and people used to, and probably maybe they still do, I don't know, but you used to get like bags of chips in the cafeteria or something, and you'd blow the bag up and
Pa-
pow.
oh yeah,
I
many
mean,
a detention has been had in the world over that.
imagine that times 8 on a plane.
That was the little known, more indie version of instead of Samuel L. Jackson, it'd be John Shadle, it'd be Chris on a plane.
Yeah, right. All right, third place winner from 2016. TIFU by ruining a movie shoot with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh.
All right, so the disclaimer is this should be several years ago, IFU, but I'm a Reddit noob and wanted to share one of my most awkward series of events I've ever caused. All right, so I had plans to meet up with some friends in Atlantic City for the weekends. I got a late start, so they were already gambling somewhere in the Taj Mahal. I'd been there once before, but didn't really remember the layout, except for a long escalator that led down to the casino from the lobby. Parked my car, walked quickly from the parking deck to the lobby. On my way to the lobby, there was a crowd of people gathered behind a security guard who was holding some caution tape across the hallway. He let a bunch of people in, and of course, I squeezed through as he was closing it off. That's where things went sideways. I saw a film camera in the lobby and thought, they must be filming a commercial for the casino or something. Wonder if I'll be in it. But before I could finish that thought, everyone around me in the entire lobby froze in position. A second later, someone yells, "Action!" I start walking alongside a person who is next to me and ask him quietly, "I'm not supposed to be here, am I?" He immediately shook his head no. So I see the escalator to the casino about 20 feet away, and 2 extras were about to get on it. I think to myself, if I can just get on that, that would be my escape from ruining whatever they're doing in the lobby. I make a move, get on the escalator, start taking a few steps down. Success! I didn't screw anything up. After a few more steps, I catch up to those 2 people who got on the escalator before me, and they're blocking the full width and not walking. I mean, come on. Only at this point do I see the boom microphone, the camera panning down with them, and the crowd of 150 spectators at the bottom of the escalator. Then someone yells, "Cut!" And the 2 people in front of me turn around. Turns out those 2 jerks blocking the escalator were Jennifer Aniston and Gerard Butler. I completely blew up their scene. There was nothing I could do. I just said, "I'm sorry." I figured there was no point in explaining my series of bad decisions. Butler laughed, and we completed the rest of the very long escalator ride in all awkward silence.
At least he was a
Nice.
good sport about it.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't sound like Jennifer Aniston was a very good sport about it, but
I mean,
Gerard Butler was.
way to go, Gerard.
All right.
I think once they said action, I'd be like, they would have had immediately go cut because as soon as they would say action, I'd be like, and you'd just be frozen like you weren't supposed to be there, like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar, like just busted, like it'd be too late.
He did do some good thinking on his feet there. I mean, he just
Yeah.
kind of went with the flow. I'd be like you. I'm like, uh-oh. I better just freeze right here. All right. Maxwell says, who films a movie in the middle of a lobby? I wonder what
Good
movie
calls.
it was.
Yeah.
I would like to find the movie and see what it was. All right. So this category is our most safe for work blank up. All right. TIFU for pretending not to be Korean.
What?
All right. So I'm Korean Canadian, but was born in Canada and have grown up here my entire life. I speak, quotes, Korean, but it's about at the level of a talented 10-year-old with a funny Canadian accent.
Eh?
That's like I don't remember what the comedian's name is, but he's Asian American, but he like
Henry Cho.
Henry Cho.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
amazing. I've seen him live like 2 or 3 times. You don't expect that Southern drawl to come
No.
from an Asian American.
That's true. All right. So the blank up happened yesterday. I'm walking down the sidewalk, and who I assume are a man and his daughter, who appears around my age, are puzzling in Korean over a directory sign. Where I got directory sign. I ask in Korean if they need any help. The dad seems excited to meet someone who speaks Korean. The girl seems shy and doesn't say much besides thanks. They're looking for a nearby mall, so I offer to walk them over there since the train station I need is nearby anyway. The dad asked me where I learned to speak Korean so well. This is where the blank up begins. I'm pretty insecure about my spoken Korean. So when the dad asked me where I learned the language, it sounds like he thinks it's obvious I'm not actually Korean. It doesn't help that his daughter is ridiculously pretty and I want to impress her for some reason. So I lie. Stupid idea. I say I'm actually Chinese and learned Korean on my spare time, changing my skills from mediocre for a Korean person to impressive for a Chinese person.
What the heck?
Alas, the dad immediately switches to Mandarin, which I can't speak a word of.
Cantonese, please.
Yeah. This would have been the time to come clean. Instead, panicking at having been exposed, I do my best confused face and then pretend I misspoke and said the Korean word for Chinese when in fact I meant Japanese. Ha ha, sorry, my Korean isn't very good, right? Of course, the daughter suddenly burst into fluent and excited Japanese, which I also can't speak a word of. I'm in too deep at this point, and I can't tell him I'm Vietnamese or some other variety of Asian without making myself even more suspicious. So I do the only logical thing and say I am indeed Japanese, but don't actually speak Japanese, but learn Korean because I'm a traitor to my Japanese heritage. We reach the mall. I'm all too happy to bail at this point, but the girl, who suddenly seems super interested in me, asked, now in practically perfect English, what I do. I said I go to the local university. She excitedly tells me that she's starting at the same university in September and that she has just arrived in Canada from Korea. Her dad, and he puts that in quotes, seems just as excited by this news. He asked me to take care of her once school starts and goes back to Korea. Turns out that the girl's actually Japanese, but went to some exchange program in Korea for a few years, and that the dad is actually her Chinese-born Korean teacher / sponsor who accompanied her to Canada. Yeah, count that out. So not
I was
only
afraid
did
where that was going.
Yeah. So not only did I pretend not to be Korean to two people who weren't even Korean, but I pretended to be Chinese to a Chinese man and have now convinced a Japanese girl that I'm Japanese. So I exchanged contact information with the girl, and we've been talking a lot online since yesterday. Turns out she's super nice and funny and interesting and accomplished. We have a ton in common, too. We have the same major. We're the same age, though she's 3 years behind me because of her exchange program. She seems super stoked to be friends with me since she doesn't know anybody in Canada and has been talking to me a lot. I'm becoming increasingly aware that I can't pretend to be Japanese forever to this girl, and I need to tell her I'm actually Korean. But early on, she asked me about my family, and I went even deeper into the lie, telling her my parents are from Kyoto. I've done screwed up, Reddit, and I feel terrible about it. All right. So there are several edits to this story, and he goes on to talk about what goes on after that. But I won't go into that. But
wow,
so
what a mess!
Yeah, and it's just you can't keep track of your lies, so you go deeper in the lies, and then you can't get out of it.
Do you remember that moment in something about the movie, Something About Mary, when Matt Dillon is trying to impress the guy Tucker, who we think is an architect at that time and not a fraud.
Right.
And he's trying to say he's an architect. Matt Dillon is. He's like, "Well, do you know the football stadium in was it Bogota, Colombia, or something like that?" He said, "Ah, the Estadio. Yes, I've been there twice. What about it?" And he got totally busted on his lie.
Yeah.
And then when he's found out to be a fraud, he's like, "Who's been to Bogota twice?" Oh, that's great.
All right. So next category. Now I've just looked at the title here, and then this is not a long one. TIFU by sitting on a dime.
What? It'd be a miss.
And this is right to the point. Okay. I had been at the beach all day. When I got back to my car, I didn't realize the coin in my seat, but immediately noticed it was searing hot. End of story. And he oh man, even leaves a picture of the carnage. So
And it's just a big old burn mark.
I've got to show this.
It's like today. I thought he was. Totally went a different direction than I was expecting. He's like, the TIFU. I sat on a coin. I thought or sat on a dime. It's like I thought he messed up because like he sat on the dime and was expecting there to be 2 nickels after he got up.
Now look at that.
Oh, that is a nasty burn.
You can even see it was like
That,
the head on the coin. You can see
that's FDR's head on my buttocks.
Oh man.
New Deal indeed. Whew.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's terrible, man. I have never sat on a coin that hot, but I think that the worst one that I can remember as a kid, I was setting up at a picnic table and like the metal bolts on that hold the planks down. I
Right.
just scooted over on the nice, cooler wood, and then I hit that darn griddle, and it flambéed my leg. But it was like the top of the bolt was just like molten in the sun, and of course I end up sliding my leg across it.
All right. So TIFU by getting my coworker fired.
I can't go a lot about that story.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to skip that one. It doesn't actually give the. Hold on, I clicked on the wrong link.
Yeah. Because, I got my coworker fired because they were stealing stuff or committing felonies. I mean, that's not.
No, it's probably good practice. I can't seem to find the original story because the title of the award was most helpful comment, and it only gives the comment. So I don't even know what the story is. So
Yeah.
Moving on from that.
Moving on.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. Last one. So TIFU by pulling away my girlfriend's towel. So as I was brushing my teeth while my girlfriend was in the shower, I had this genius idea for a little old after shower surprise. So I'm running around the bedroom trying to clean up the best I can, hoping the sound of the shower will drain the sound of hoovering. So he's just vacuuming the bedroom. Also try to muffle the sound of the Hoover by putting on some mood music while I clean and set up the candles. I figured also that when I picked up my suit trousers off the floor, I should put them back on despite already being ready for bed because she's mentioned before she finds it sexy when I'm all dressed up for interviews and stuff. Quickly threw it on with a half button shirt and jacket. Mind you, by this point, I think I'm pretty much done. I know what feels like the longest shower of all time. Like she takes long showers normally. I guess most girls do, a lot of hair to wash, but it's like she knew I was going to ruin the night the moment she walked out of the shower and decided to remain until the water gets cold just to be away from my well-intentioned hijinks.
Hijinks.
Now, here's where the screw up happens. Just before I'm finishing hyping myself out about this turning around to view the room, making sure all the candles are still burning, all the lighting is just right, and YouTube's playlist isn't going to abruptly end, finally getting ready to like practice my walk and actions and all that, she comes slinking out of the shower while my back's turned to the door. I turn around, about to act on my strides. I'm stunned like a deer in the headlights. Somehow, stage fright seemed to have kicked in at the very moment I forgot all my lines and stage direction. I try to mumble some words and point to the candles, but my girl stops my mumbling by smiling at me and opening her towel. Stage fright goes away. Oh, I don't know if I can go on with this. I should have read this beforehand. This is racy. So let me get to the the screw up here.
You were quoting Shakespeare.
Yes, quoting Shakespeare. Yeah. Stride over distance in front of her, ran my hand up her arm, got a hold of the towel, and with almighty manly man sense, tried to pull the towel off. But he grabs her hair and the towel. She hit the ground. So the room's dark and he grabs her hair instead of the towel. So he wrote this 15 minutes after it happened. He says, I'm here on the computer ordering an apology pizza for her while she's drying her hair with the hairdresser in the other room after storming out looking salty after I ruined the moment and proceeded to repeatedly shout, what the blank at her.
Let the what?
What the blank. So to further explain the situation, she had the towel turban on.
Yeah.
Tried to rip it and got her hair instead. So there you go. Ruined the moment.
Oh, right. Big time. Oh my. Well, I've read some, like funny things like that where um I'm trying to remember the article clothing. For some reason I'm thinking like those pull away sweatpants.
Yeah.
You know, the snap kind. He was trying to be all slick, and when he pulled up on him, he realized he wasn't wearing those. He'd worn those yesterday, and he pulls up and gives himself a huge wedgie right in front of the, like he pulls and just like, yeah, similar ish.
Yeah, ish. So hopefully these TIFUs make you feel better about yourself. That people can.
I think the person I feel for the most is that dude on the plane with the bag of potato chips.
Yeah, that's
to cause that kind of panic and trauma and having no idea that could happen. Jeez. Horrible.
So if you ever go to India, don't take the snacks on the plane. Again, we're all about learning here.
Yes.
All right, so let me do one more here. I've got a short one. Okay, so TIFU for paying $70 for a $29 haircut. So I went and got a $29 haircut, $29 after tax. I went to pay with my card and I remembered I had cash. So I clicked decline on the card reader. I went to pay with cash instead, all while conversing with the woman who just cut my hair. I hand her $40. She looked shocked. I said, I don't need change. She said, oh my gosh, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. She asked me again, oh my gosh, are you serious? Seriously? I was like, yes. And she's like, thank you so much. This is literally going to buy me and my kids dinner. And I was like, geez, she must get bad tips. I start to walk away and she goes, oh, actually, your card transaction timed out. You need to reinsert it. It didn't go through. At which point I realized she had no idea I meant to pay for all of it with the cash and thought I was giving her $40 cash tip for a $29 haircut. And that's the story of when I paid $70 for a $29 haircut.
Oh. And there's no walking back from that. No, you got to take that hit.
Yeah, too far in. Too far in. That's rough. I've been in situations like that. I mean, not that very situation, but I mean, people were looking at you like thinking you did something like awesome, and you didn't really mean to do anything that awesome. And
or the opposite. At Vegas last year, we're walking, walking down the street, and there's some showgirls that are scantily clad, and and I thought they were just, it's part of the thing. Again, it's like hi, it's like hey, and Katie takes a picture, and they're like, okay, that'll be $40. I'm like, what? And I was stuck. It was done. It was done.
So you are naive from the Brown County countryside, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I was just like, on. Why did I move to Vegas earlier? Showgirls are coming up to me in the street. I must have some swag going,
So,
with Katie standing right there, no less.
So on that note, me and my son were in Times Square, and these girls who are scantily clad come up to him and say,
how old was he?
Well, he's just out of high school. He just graduated. Yeah. So they would you like a picture? Would you? And they're foreign, but would you like a picture? And see, I know what's going on here.
Oh, so, I'm sure you do.
No,
or
I did. I did. And I looked at him, seeing what he was going to do about it. So he decides, he's going to put his arm around both and take the picture. And one of them says, "Tip, please." and the look on his face is like, and there was two. One of them started, and then another one ran up. So they both wanted a tip, and I said, "Well, you're on your own here." He said, "Well, how much?" And they're like $20 a piece. So we'll give you $20 together. So gave him $20 and went on our way. But I knew he had no idea, but I did know what was going on. And so I'm not quite as naive as you are. I'm close, but not quite.
Close, but I'm a babe in the woods.
All right.
What?
Can I do one more?
Sure. With that cackle going. This is gonna be good.
TIFU for making such a disgusting smell from my butt, it evacuated a courtroom. So this happened about 5 hours ago. So Redditor says, today I woke up, had really painful cramps due to the deadly woman's monthly cycle mixed with some spiced chicken that hadn't set right in my belly all night.
I see where this is going.
I go to the toilet about 3 times before work this morning, but it's eased off a bit, so take tablets, grin and bear it, and leave for work. Now, my job is working within the prison system and escorting prisoners to certain places, including court.
Please tell me the gas chamber.
It turned into the gas chamber.
Yeah.
This is where it all went downhill. I had to escort this prisoner over to the witness box and stand next to her in the open court. So I do my usual, but my tummy has started to really hurt again. I'm trying my absolute best to put off a fart, which I know is brewing, but I can't hold it much longer. So I do a really silent one and pat myself on the back, thinking I had gotten away with it. So that is until the prisoner starts coughing, retching, and shouting.
Please tell me the attorney immediately filed for dismissal due to cruel and unusual punishment.
Coughing, retching, and shouting. What the blank is that? I quickly realize what it must be, but can't admit to such a foul, putrid smell. So start crinkling my nose as well and gagging.
She's gagging on her own brand.
The admin clerk walks slightly closer and retches so hard she had to swiftly put her head in the bin. By this point, it's getting loud and chaos is starting to ensue. Not what you want in court in front of the district judge. He quickly tells me to take the prisoner back over to the closed dock and states that it must be the pipes. He stands down the whole of the court and makes maintenance come in to check all the pipes for any leaks, cracks, anything which could have made that smell happen. Prisoner still has watery eyes. I'm pretending to gag, and the clerk is sipping water next to a bucket. So yeah, court was stood down for over an hour whilst it was searched because of the smell. Not knowing the cause, was back and down in the cells, hanging her head in shame and regaling to her co-workers about the leaky pipe upstairs.
Oh, the thing is probably where the intense anxiety that moment hit was like she knew that nobody knew it was her and wasn't expecting it. So that she had to be sitting here for a while waiting to be found out, discovered.
Yep.
I was waiting for you to say like the K9 unit came in and immediately tracked. But oh man, that is pretty humiliating.
So, Miss Wilson, in this case, the F stands for farted up.
Oh man, that would be an embarrassing story. That's pretty classic. Man,
So that was about as good a one as we've had since the sugarless gummy bears.
Man. Oh, talk about greatest clips is that one where the guy was yelling at the cats and, called them filthy names. And people thought it was a domestic dispute.
Yeah.
And came knocking on his door. Maybe had to explain that he was yelling at the cats. Anyway.
All right.
All right.
Visit our website, Brady.
Yeah.
www.playitbyyearpodcast.com. You can find out information about our show. You can buy a t-shirt.
May I?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Big shout out to Karen and Kenny Enlow, Jessica Young, and Amanda Barrow for purchasing shirts. And no, we haven't got those out on the catalog yet. But thank you guys very much for displaying your earbud status. We appreciate it.
Indeed. Brave individuals who will tell everyone in the world they're an earbud. by wearing our shirt. It's a very nice shirt, though. Very
Soft as a
soft.
heavenly alpaca.
Yes. So if you want to buy one, click on the store link at the website at the top of the page, and then scroll down, click on the picture of the t-shirt, and that will take you to buymeacoffee.com, which is our crowdsourcing platform. You can pay for the shirt there. We will get it to you. All right, Brady.
All right. It is fall. I know this because I live in Ohio and you live in Ohio. But fall around these parts and in the Midwest is more about just the changing of the seasons. It's about changing of lifestyles.
Yes.
That fall has become like an anticipated thing because of the things that come with it. And I accidentally perused over this list, and it's like, but it's called 54 Absolute Worst Things About Fall. And this is on BuzzFeed. And it got to me to think because like fall is so popular right now. My mom and I had a conversation about, when I was a kid, the adults and Halloween was not a big deal. Now it is a big deal. And the whole fall
Right.
season has many trappings that people love now.
Yep.
And but there's some irritating things. Just like summer, I'm a summer guy, but you can't have summer without mosquitoes and some annoyances. So these are things that this list was people opine about the worst things about fall. And the first one is people won't shut up about how it's fall.
Okay.
Like, oh, it's fall. I get to get out my flannel. I get to get out my Ugg. Just all the over and over again about how much they love fall.
Right.
And it tends to get irritating to some because once again, especially around here, there is a big lifestyle switch that comes with it. So the next on the list, oh gosh, yeah. It's cold in the morning and warm in the afternoon and cold at night, which makes it impossible to dress appropriately because you're always too warm or too cold. I call it Moorhead weather. I attended Moorhead State University, and it's in the hills. It's kind of in the mountainous region of the KY. And that's the way it was in the summer because you were kind of high up and it would be like really chilly. So I would
Right.
go to a morning class in the summer at 8 a.m. Botany comes to mind because I had a 8 a.m. botany summer class where I had 2 hours of the class and an hour and a half of lab right after. So I would get there and it was chilly. And then I would come out and then I would melt into a puddle because it literally went from 48 degrees to 91 degrees in the summer there.
Yep.
So let's
That's
transfer
true.
that to fall. Like, when was it the other day? You go to work in a jacket and you come out and it's like, gosh, and you're ripping off your layers because it's hotter than all get out of the car. So, around here in the Midwest, that is an issue. So the rapid change of weather.
So one of the things that happens in an elementary school in the fall,
What?
the lost and found box gets overflowing.
Oh yeah, these are facts. So that hoodie that the kid wore when they were freezing, and after recess, after they nearly, you know, overheated themselves. Yeah, absolutely. So where does it end up? On the mulch by the slide or the swings. So
Correct.
gotcha. Okay. Switching over from iced drinks or iced coffee to hot coffee and people making a big deal about it. It's like
And what type of drink do people make the biggest deal out of?
coffee.
Specific kind.
Iced coffee.
Pumpkin spice.
Oh, well, we're holding on to that nugget here in a moment, okay? Because that's going to be on the list.
Yep.
So, but yes, people make a big deal about the coffee. Like just last week, I was sipping my iced coffee, and now it's so warm, I have to drink hot coffee now. Like this has become a thing, and people have to declare that their morning beverage choice is indicative of the climate. All right. When you finally do switch to hot coffee, you start sweating because it's slightly too warm to be drinking hot coffee, but you have to stay the course. Not an
Oh.
issue I have. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Nor am I. But I could see the issue.
I can see the issue. Very much.
It's
Now-
like eating soup. There's a right temperature for eating soup? Well, it's chilly weather,
Okay,
when
as in
it's
CHILI, like chili.
CHILI. It
Okay.
has to be CHILLY to be CHILY.
Oh, I don't know. I could eat chili whenever. Now, I will say that chili is more emblematic of fall and colder temperatures, but I could eat my French onion soup or my minestrone or my chicken tortilla soup. I'm a fan of soups. I could enjoy those in the summer,
Well,
but
well, and
chili,
yeah, chili especially.
yes. Um, and chili is the fifth food group for me this time of year. Um, all right, sorry. Layering until you realize you have to do more laundry because you're literally wearing more clothes. So, I mean, I work at a school, so I have a base layer t-shirt, then a button-up shirt, and sometimes I'll wear my Columbia, zip vest. So all of a
Yep.
sudden I'm in 3 layers.
Yep.
Or heaven forbid if it's 54 degrees now, but the forecast says it's going to be 22 degrees. So you put on the compression layer first, but then you have to suffer through that hour or two where it's way too warm for all that.
True.
And then because you sweat so much, the next
Sweat.
morning you have to launder the 2 base layers. So yes, this is absolutely all true.
Of course, in some cases, buildings can cause it's cold in one area, warm in the next.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone asking you what you're going to do for Halloween, followed by closely everybody asking you what you're going to be for Halloween.
I will be Eric Fiskus for Halloween.
Terrifying.
Yes.
No, I didn't do any costumage this year, but I will confess to feeling pressure in my younger days. When we started doing adult, Halloween parties, there was a certain pressure to come up with something good. And then people were wanting to feel it out a little bit because nobody wanted to duplicate. So you start getting interrogated about what are you going to be on Halloween.
I never succumbed to that peer pressure.
Yeah. But, I wouldn't even call it peer pressure, just call it self pressure.
True.
We got to make that perfect choice. Um, when people ask you, have you watched Hocus Pocus yet at 12:01 a.m. on the autumn equinox? So basically, when they're saying that moment where officially, it's like, hey, summer's over, people start asking you if you watched Hocus Pocus yet.
So what is this fascination with Hocus Pocus?
Thank
Where,
you.
where did where did that
Thank
come
you.
from?
I was in, what do you call it? Prime remembrance time when Hocus Pocus came out, and it was a nothing burger back then.
Yeah.
It was considered mid. But
Yeah, I
then,
mean, people didn't act like they were excited about Hocus Pocus until Hocus Pocus 2 came out.
no, I will go roll back from that. I have noticed people talking about Hocus Pocus for probably about the last 5 to 6 years. But now that Hocus Pocus 2 is out, everybody comments about it's like they're coming out of the closet on their love of Hocus Pocus. But
Yeah.
it's not that I have a problem with it. I think I've seen it once, but I don't have the love. I don't know when it became such a pop culture icon.
So that was who? Bette Midler,
Daryl
Sarah,
Hannah
Sarah
and
Jessica Parker.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think. And it was Bette Midler. No. The original was what's her name? Meryl Streep. It's Meryl Streep, Bette Midler, and Daryl Hannah.
Meryl's Streep.
Meryl and Daryl. But
Well, I hearken to IMDb as I always do in these questions. Starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy.
that's the new one, isn't it?
No, that's the one from 1993.
What's the one that Daryl Hannah was in?
I didn't remember Daryl Hannah being in one, but again, I've not seen it, so I'm just going off memory of what I heard about it. Hocus
Huh.
Pocus 2 stars the same three. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy.
Oh. Was there one called The Witches of Eastwick
Yes.
or something?
Yes.
Okay.
That had Jack Nicholson in it.
Yeah.
That was from
But
1987, and that had
yeah.
Jack
In
Nicholson, Cher, and Susan Sarandon.
Susan Saran wrap. Well, I know that.
Sarandon, yeah.
I know that. Daryl Hannah. I won't take time with it tonight, but I'm going to have to investigate this because, yeah, I might have the total. Because why am I thinking Meryl Streep?
I don't know.
Anyway, how about this one in the list of things? And it's hard to put a finger exactly. I mean, it's easy for us, but for most people, for it to be on the list, it's harder to get out of bed.
Well, it's always hard to get out of bed for me, but
Um,
it's harder
I,
to get out of bed when it's dark. I mean, I'll give you
yes,
that, and that's what fall
where it's
brings.
cold and rainy, one of those
Yeah.
deals. But I mean, it's harder to get out of bed for us because we've been off all summer, and then the fall we're back to work, and we're hitting the grind days
Well,
right now.
speak for
So,
yourself, having been off all summer.
well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
So I've often wondered about that, and it seems like someone's probably done a study on it. But why is it like when it's rainy outside, it is harder to get out of bed, even when it's dark?
I think it's animal instincts and nesting and hibernation and wintering.
But
It's to slow us down and our metabolism down so we don't starve to death.
does barometric pressure have something to do with it? Like when the barometric
I don't
pressure
know.
goes down? Yeah, like I said, someone I'm sure has done a study on it.
I'm sure. It's the whole seasonal affective disorder thing, lack of
Right,
sunlight, vitamin D, the whole thing. But
right.
I'll look that up too. Call up my list of things to straighten up before the next episode.
So Miss Wilson talking about Halloween costumes. It's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show where you dress up like them.
No, I see. I wasn't. I'm going to call it ignorance. I just, like I said, that movie's been out since 1987, and I've never heard it.
What? Hocus Pocus?
Yeah. Well, I've
19,
never heard of it championed.
1993.
The Witches of Eastwick was
Yeah,
87.
Eastwick was
Yeah.
87. Yeah.
But still, when it came out, it was not that big of a deal. I swear it wasn't.
Not that I remember. I mean, 1993, we would have been just getting out
22.
of college or
Yeah.
just close to getting out of
And
college.
I'm sure Bette Midler movies wasn't first and foremost on our watch list. Just
Nah, I mean, Beaches. I remember her doing that one, but yeah.
yeah. All right. Getting out of the shower is getting to be impossible in the fall. You get out of that hot, steamy shower, you open up that curtain, and it's like somebody has transported you to Antarctica.
Literally. And I know that word is way overused, but most days that is my worst time of the day. The worst thing I do all day is getting out of the hot shower. Most days. It's terrible.
Yeah,
and then my wife will
is.
come in the bathroom and she'll leave the door open. Yeah, you can't do that.
It drops the temperature 20 points,
Yes.
and then
like-
things happen.
And I'm like, brr. Oh, it's not cold. Well, you're not in a hot shower. Yes, it is cold. Shut the door.
Luckily, I don't have to see the proctologist because they're not going to be able to find anything. It's like I just got out of a hot shower into the cold room. Anyway, let's see. Gourds.
Gourds.
One word.
Just
gourds.
Just the word gourds.
Gourds. No, but the gourds. Gourds do produce a little bit of a conundrum. They could be a striking looking thing until you realize, what do I do with it?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, does a gourd have any purpose other than being decorative? At this point in human society, does a gourd have any other purpose than to be decorative?
I know back in the day, gourd skins were used for drinking.
Right. Right.
and bucketry and things like that.
Right.
But is there such a thing as gourd pie?
Not that I know of. Sounds kind of gross to me.
Yeah, pumpkin pie sounds great. It's basically the same thing with the curved top, but then it becomes gourd pie and sounds much worse.
Yes.
Sounds like something you say when you're angry. Do you want some pumpkin
S-
pie?
So
Gourd pie.
gourd pie. So is there a difference in the taste?
I'm assuming there is because we probably haven't. We've never had gourd pies. That should tell you all you need to know.
Right.
If it was good, we would have eaten it a lot more by now, or would have heard of it,
True.
right?
Uh,
So
One would assume.
one would assume. Okay, people who are already listening to Christmas music
Mm,
too soon.
too soon.
Um,
Now,
the
now
trade.
my wife will watch Halloween movies all October, and she'll watch the same ones over and over and over again. I'm like, how many times you seen this? Can, does watching a horror movie over and over again seems to me has a worse effect than watching a regular movie over and over again? Because the purpose of a horror movie is to scare you, and if you know what's coming, you're not going to be scared.
Yeah, and then if you're just wanting to watch beheadings and disembowelments, that says a lot about you. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
No, it's. I mean, some people like. I mean, I'm not. What do you call it? Poo pooing, and just there's a lot of artistry and you know, artistic thought and endeavor that goes into a horror movie, and people just like that, and the process of telling that story.
Right.
But the thing is, and here we go, horror movies should be really good. But daggone it, they find epic ways to mess up a good horror movie and make it stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's like, well, if you think you can do it, do it. I can. I can write a horror movie. I think I could. That would be scary and not delve into stupid. That will
Well,
keep people frightened.
to me, and I know this is just me, but true horror to me is something that I'm watching that could actually happen.
Uh huh.
A lot of these so-called horror movies there are things in there, and maybe that's what you mean by stupid things in there that it's not going to happen. Why would I be scared of that? Because it's not going to happen.
Well, which probably makes it frightening because they didn't expect it to happen either, but it is. It's like, holy cow. you know. But to us watching at home, now if I were sleeping and somebody started stabbing me with finger knives in real life, that's gonna be horrible. That's gonna be
Sure.
yeah. But we're watching like, oh, that's never gonna happen. Well, I bet that person said it was never gonna happen either. Or also,
Well, that's that example. I mean, theoretically, you could be stabbed in any situation. I mean, that could
yeah.
happen. Uh, some apparition coming out and turning into something else. I mean, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I get it. And I think a lot of what makes horror movies is the jumping, like the boo, the startle moment.
Yeah.
But then there's some truly terrifying movies that things that really do scare. You know what I mean? It always makes a mistake someplace. It's just like it could have been so scary and cool, or they let it get boring, or it drags in between. I would love to write a horror movie. I think I could make one that keeps you scared the whole time and doesn't veer into ridiculousness
Well,
intentionally.
I think that one commercial it's for some insurance company. Is it Geico? They're kind of
Oh
making
yeah,
fun of the horror movies,
yeah.
why don't we just get into the running car? No, let's go hide behind the chainsaws. It's like, yeah. I mean, and maybe that's the kind of stupid you're referring to.
Yeah, there's just always some like, oh my gosh, this place is a decrepit house. It's falling down. There's bloodstains here. Oh, let's have a picnic
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
A
Let's go.
romantic moment.
Right.
So anyway, all right. What Eric was talking about, pumpkin spice everything. Here's a picture of Burt's Beeswax chapstick that's pumpkin spice. Coffees, lattes, and
Shouldn't by definition something called beeswax taste like honey?
It should. It should, but that's why
Just
this one
saying.
is special.
Just
It's
saying.
what?
Just saying.
Oh,
I mean,
about
I don't.
none of your beeswax.
No, I mean, did
Oh,
beeswax it should taste like honey?
oh, I thought you saw me think like you saw my wheels turning.
Oh
It's like
no.
it does that because it's none of your beeswax. And I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Yeah. Oh, I'll have to tell you about one. I had a great one yesterday. It's epic for the ages. Can I? May I? It only takes a second. So I teach ninth grade physical science, and we're doing a mini lab on heterogeneous and homogeneous mixtures. And there's the basic, salt and pepper. I have a bunch of ingredients on my lab table, and then they're reading their lab reports and working very diligently and awesome. And then I look down and I just see a couple random objects. I see, like this D battery and flashlight battery, and there's baking soda and salt and pepper and all this stuff, and it just hits me. So I grab two of the objects and I go up to the table. It's like, hey, there's a new mixture. Here you go. And they look at me all confused. So I got a thing of the table salt and the D battery. I said, assault and battery. And I was like, mic drop, I could leave school. You don't even have to evaluate me this year. It doesn't get any better than that. I'm just going to get in my car, go home. They've been properly educated.
see, that's that's like the comedy. Do you remember the Amazing Wid?
No.
He was like a prop comic.
Oh, yeah. I actually saw him. Now that yes. Yes.
I love that. It's funny.
But, but yeah, and it wasn't planned. I just looked down and saw it, and I just thought it was hysterical. It doesn't get any better than that.
Did they laugh at you?
1/3 of them, yes. 1/3 of them looked confused, and 1/3 of them groaned and threatened to report me. No, I'm kidding. Just they're like the. So
Dad joke. Dad
yes.
joke.
All right. So meanwhile,
So,
back to our regular programming.
Miss Wilson has a comment here. I didn't think The Ring scared me until the end of the DVD. There was an added feature of the movie. Do not watch this. I didn't. Never
The
seen
Ring
The
was
Ring.
creepy. Oh yeah, it was pretty creepy. It wasn't out and out boo. It just was that slow, disturbing creep. Like you're looking at something you probably shouldn't look at, but you can't say why. It's like just builds up.
See, horror is not my genre, really. Because
Yeah.
I just don't think I can suspend disbelief enough to enjoy horror movies.
This one's making me giggle, and I have no idea why. Here we go. When you eat what you hate about fall is when you eat a big meal in a restaurant and you go outside and you're freezing cold, but your food is digesting. So what are they? What's making me snicker is like what?
What was that in reference to? Was that like the lady I read about there in the last
No,
TIFU?
I actually I actually think that it's just like when you eat and you get sluggish and tired, but so you're in that, but then you have to jolt yourself out of it by stepping out in the cold. So your post after dinner buzz or glow from the food is like roinked because you're cold and shivering. That's the only thing I can think of. But I just got to giggling at it because they said your food is digesting. Like I never think about my food digesting ever unless it's not. No. So anyway.
And you end up clearing your courtroom after the spiced chicken.
Objection overruled. Okay. One thing I hate about fall, and this is problematic at my house because I had 3 large trees in my front yard. Leaves get wet and slippery and you fall, and because it's fall, people make a joke about how you fell in fall.
Wah, wah, wah.
So those leaves do get slippery, and so you slip on them in a park. That's the closest I ever came to cursing in front of my elementary children. I was walking off something, man. My feet hit those wet leaves. You know what you say when you about to slip and fall involuntarily. And I caught myself. I caught myself.
Well, was it another word for excrement?
It might have been.
Uh,
Oh, it never mind. So, everyone won't stop talking about it being sweater season when the only sweater season you know is how much you sweat when you wear a sweater too early in October. So that sweater becomes literal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about this. Like I opened up the show with Ohio weather, like 80
Yeah.
degrees yesterday and 50 today, and so
Yeah.
you can decide, well, it's sweater time, but then the next day it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. It turns on a dime. All right. Some more. The fact that fall only exists for like 2 weeks before it's basically the middle of the winter. Now, I know that that is probably a little bit regionally based because I know our fall is going to be different than, say, the fall in Wisconsin where my cousin lives.
Right.
It's going to be different. I think we probably have a more protracted fall than most around here. But once again, once you start going up north, it changes. So fall is very quick. Now, this year it was quick because it was so dry. Once the leaves fell, they basically turned into dust.
Okay, so I'm going to show this here. This
Yes.
ties into the conversation. If I can get to the right tab here. There. The 12 seasons of Ohio. Winter, Fool's Spring, second winter, Spring of Deception, third winter, the Pollinating, actual spring, summer, Hell's Front Porch, false fall, second summer, actual fall. That's about right.
That is about right.
So I think we may be in actual fall now.
Yes, I think we are. It is fallen. Um, Gross scented fall candles smell like pumpkin. Ate another pumpkin and then took a deuce.
Left a deuce.
Left a deuce. So, I have smelled some pretty bad fall candles because there will be some like cranberry apple kind of thing there, and then they'll throw some pumpkin spice in there, and then they have to kind of it's some kind of fakey kind of a mapley sugar smell. See, I don't like those.
No.
I
I'm
don't
with
I don't
you.
like that kind of candle. Um, okay. Don't know why this is annoying, but it is. When people exhale way too hard, trying to see their breath like it's something to be proud of. So it's a cold day and you're like you've just like
No,
done an
but
amazing, unique thing.
it's not about that. It's about trying to guess the temperature without a thermometer is what it is.
I don't need to do that. I can walk out. It's cold. I don't. That's all it takes. What's your professional opinion? It's cold, and then I go back in. Um, this one kind of goes hand in hand. Everybody gets sick, and everyone is coughing.
Yep. It's about
And
where we are right now.
where people become obsessed with talking about flu shots, and hello is replaced with "Did you get a flu shot yet?" Which is very ironic since my son stayed home today. Thought he had strep throat, but he ended up having flu A.
Flu A.
So there has been a lot of absences in my place of employment. It's going around.
Flu A. Not Fluby.
Flu B.
Fluby.
Um, mice go indoors and terrorize your life. So the mice are like, okay, camping is done. It's time to go in. Now, luckily, I've never had meese too much here. There's field meese, but
Meese.
um, but anyway, now that I have the two cats of the apocalypse, I mean, I see mouse parts and chipmunk parts all over the front. Stupid times. As they come up, look what I have achieved for
Yes.
you.
Here's my trophy.
Are you pleased? But
No, I'm not.
yeah,
Joey.
Joey. Are we
Yeah.
normally on a Wednesday? We have been since we have been for a while.
Yeah. Wednesday at 7.
Now you're not totally losing it because during we did do Tuesdays a while, but where our work schedules change and summer schedules change. Wednesday tends to be our favorite default because it's right in the middle of the week, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just impossible. So we are going to be Wednesday until further notice.
So, Joey, what are your thoughts on our Bengals and your Browns this coming week? See what he says.
My brother-in-law is going up to that. So, let's see. I was about ready. About the mice. Oh, daggone it. I was about ready to say something funny about the mice coming in. And I don't remember what it was.
Usually happens when the farmers harvest around here.
Yeah.
And the mice
But,
decide to come in.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, the mouse apocalypse, I had something good. I just got distracted by Joey's awesomeness. We're glad to see him back.
Joey's aura can distract anybody.
You have to wear socks again.
I always wear socks.
I tend to always wear socks. When you have to start, okay, there's that one wonderful sweet spot where you don't have to run your furnace and you don't have to run your AC. You can just crack open a window.
That's solid.
And yeah, my lowest energy bill is usually if I could go September 15th to October 15th, that 4-week period, I don't have to do a thing.
True.
But yeah. So
Joey says, Browns haven't won a game in October. I hope we can swing something around. I have tickets, obviously. Both teams who wear orange playing on Halloween seems like they did this on purpose.
That is true.
But I think that game has been falling right around Halloween for several years because I remember the Browns kicking the crap out of the Bengals in Cincinnati one year when the wind was blowing about 85 miles an hour.
Yeah. Cold. Windy. Rain.
Like today.
The kind
that was today.
When it's a mist, not quite a mist, it's heavier than a mist, but not a shower. And the wind blows it. And it's like Jack Frost has vomited on your face. And it's blowing that cold, wet, it's miserable, man.
Yeah.
The older I get, it's like, why do I live here? I hate that.
Hurricanes. That's why I live here.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. You have to find some place to stash and store your summer clothes. So all the shorts, that kind of stuff gets packed away. And then, of course, it's double laundry. You probably have the same problem, Eric. It's double laundry because there's school clothes and home clothes.
Correct.
And in the fall, you got school clothes that have to be warm weather and cold weather. And then, so laundry becomes a problem in Ohio.
It's like triple laundry.
It is. Let's see. The word brisk.
Brisk.
This list, these people have a problem with the word brisk. If I say brisk unironically or earnestly for a group of people, I probably try to be very formal with people I don't know well. So the older lady that you're chatting with when you're in line at the grocery store, I hope it doesn't get to you. It feels a bit brisk. And it'll be
rather brisk.
Rather brisk. and it's what I'm trying to be formal. So I don't really have a problem with the word, but I
So
just got to chop.
here's another fall word on that note. Blustery. You don't say the word blustery in the winter. That's
I
a
don't
fall
know.
word. That's a fall word.
Yeah, it tends to be. It trends there. It trends there.
Because in the winter it's freezing, it's cold, it's blustery is somewhere in between.
Yeah. Oh, we're heading to the last one. All right. God, the reason I'm laughing so hard is this literally happened 3 days ago.
Yeah.
You not knowing if you just stepped in wet leaves or dog feces. When you haven't stuck your shoe and you don't know if it's just wet leaves or when you peel back those wet leaves, you're gonna find dog feces on your shoe.
Good thing I don't have dogs.
7 out of 10. No, 8 out of 10. It's just the wet leaves, but daggone those 2 out of 10 times. And you can't smell it until you peel back that one leaf, and then that just unleashes it. Oh man. So yeah, under the I think it was no, I think it was Reagan when she was probably about second or third grade. She jumped into a leaf pile, not knowing that my golden doodle Crockett had just like he could have been hired by Spectre because he laid cable in the yard and it was covered up by the leaves and jumped right at it. It was sorry, it's not nice to laugh about, but it's been
So
long enough. The statute
how'd
of
she
limitations of laughter is passed.
how'd she react to that?
Oh, well, she didn't cry. She's like disgusted, grossed out. She didn't cry though. Anger. It was more anger.
Uh, did it like get on her clothes or was it like in her face and stuff?
No, it got on her arm. Like think of like doing a snow angel, like falling back, and when you fall back, it just landed right on top of it. Oh man.
So is it that second or two of wondering what's on my arm, and then it was
Oh, is that
retching in
mud?
disgust?
No, it is not. Wrong. Incorrect. But anyway, then there's a confused look at my dog looking out the windows, like going, "I thought I got rid of that." And it's like, it was pretty bad though because I mean, Crockett, bless his heart, was not a small dog.
Nope.
He's about 95 pounds, so you can kind of do the math and the mental gymnastics there. But anyway, so that is our list about what stinks about fall. Um, one of the things that wasn't on the list is that I think about as people start talking about getting all their flannels out. Now that
I
doesn't
don't
annoy me, but I bet it does somebody someplace.
I don't know that I own any flannels.
Really?
Yeah.
See, there's the dress flannels. Where there's just not lumberjack flannels, but it's flannel like a good soft flannel button-up shirt, but it is a print that is less flannelly. It's
Flannel.
less lumberjackish. It's just not the big red and black checks.
I mean, I have owned flannel. I don't think I currently own flannel. Not that I
But
have an aversion to it. I just don't own
yeah,
any.
a good flannel button up with that good flannel that's an excellent fall choice.
Now, what we do have are flannel sheets and blankets.
I do like that. Do you know what I like better than those though? I love flannel sheets and blankets, but I got what it's that jersey material. It's like t-shirt material.
Yeah.
Those are excellent.
Oh, but here's the thing with the flannel sheets and blankets. I mean, you have to get to a point where it's the time to put them on because if you put them on and the temperature goes back up, I mean, you literally wake up, and I use that word literally
See,
again. I'm saying in a pool of sweat, like, like
it's like the Dead Sea on the. The thing is, though, I do use my flannel sheets occasionally in the summer, but flannel has a natural wicking activity or activation. Like I don't notice myself getting as sweaty. It breathes.
oh, I can
There's
definitely notice.
some of those
It's an odd sensation because you've sweated
swat.
swat a lot, but it doesn't feel like it. It's like it's there, and it's like you're laying in it, but it's not on your skin. It's an odd
Yeah,
thing.
it's like you've laid on something cool and moist, but you know you shouldn't be doing it.
So, Joey, you don't have flannel sheets in the land? No flannel sheets. It seems like
Are you
Cleveland would be a
mad,
good
woman?
place to find. Are you mad, woman?
I think he's referring to his significant. If she brought flannel sheets, he's probably a warm sleeper. That's where I think he's going with that.
He said, "Why not burlap sheets or bubble wrap sheets?"
Well, bubble wrap sheets would give you PTSD. You would think there was a drive-by going on all the time. You roll over. Not doesn't exactly do a lot for your sleep patterns there. But oh man, I forget what I got from Amazon, but it was bubble wrap, and it was in my room, and I was putting it together, and the dog sat down on the bubble wrap, and I hit the deck because I thought there was a drive-by, like the rough streets of Lake Lenoka.
Joey and his flowery prose. Dude, I sweat like a terrorist at the airport at night. Flannel sheets would kill me.
Oh man,
yeah. Can't say it ain't better than that.
Yeah, Joey, you should try the t-shirt material sheets. Or it's sometimes called jersey material, but you would like it. Here we are. You've come to the right spot. If we go from talking to fall to sheet shopping,
There you go. You never know what you'll hear on
you
this
never
show
know.
because we play it by ear.
We truly do. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. All right. Anything else?
Nope, I think that's about good. So, once again, happy fall, everybody. Was not slamming it, just having some fun with it. Do you have a fall song? I've got to admit that that oh gosh, there's a couple
fall
artists that
song?
I like listening to when the leaves start changing and it starts turning into winter. That's when I get into my John Denver groove.
Yeah.
So,
That John Denver's full of crap.
yeah. Well, Joey, what do you say? Fun fact.
Fun fact, Play It By Ear podcast has never once talked about ears and is a YouTube show, not a podcast. Yeah, there you go.
Good point.
That very both valid points.
Now, in the beginning, there was no video,
True.
so we truly were a podcast.
Yeah, we went to full video episode 30, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been quite this episode 114. So
and if not for the pandemic, there would have never been Play It By Ear video.
That's true because we were actually in
video
the same
was
room.
brought on by necessity.
Yeah, it's true, and kept on because of convenience.
Yes.
Although being in the same room is, I mean, there's something to that.
There is.
Like when we did the live 100th episode. I mean, that was good. It was good to get back to there with
yeah, that was
being in the
cool.
same room with people. But anywho, I think I only did 3 episodes of audio only, and it was like F this noise. So you want to see our beautiful faces? Is that what you're saying? Cool. Oh, you're talking the STD, or you're not talking ours. You just did audio for STD. I get you. Yeah,
but
well,
STD being Square Table Degenerates. That is the
right.
name of our friend Joey's podcast that you should check out.
Yeah, check it out. Look it up. It's on YouTube. And Joey, you have guests too, so I think video really ties in well to that as well. I mean, usually we're the only mugs on here. So
I quite enjoy, like I was when they when you guys had the guy from the one hit wonder band Right Said Fred.
yeah, that was good.
That was amazing.
uh, was it Right Said or Fred?
Well, wouldn't that be great if he had his name legally changed to that?
Yeah,
Right Said.
Right Said.
Or when they
Hyphenated, right?
or when they started doing opera in the symphony, it became Right Said Frederick. But anyway,
All right. Anything else for the good of the order?
nope. I think we should be good for this week.
All right. Well, if you're into the audio thing, our audio version comes out on Friday morning at 3 a.m. Anchor.fm is our platform. You can find us on Spotify, which now has video podcast, vidcast, podcast, whatever you want to call that. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app, and most anywhere else you find audio podcasts. You can probably find us there. Video, we are on YouTube. If you look at our channels, Play It By Ear Podcast. Twitch, we have a channel there as well. And of course, our YouTube, or check that Facebook Lives are archived on our Facebook page. You can find them there. Social media, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams. Those links are all on our website, www.playitbyearpodcast.com. If you'd like to interact via email, you can email admin@playitbyearpodcast.com. You can leave a voice message for us. You can click the link at your podcast provider. If you're on the iHeartRadio app, there is a talkback feature. It looks like a microphone. Click on that. You can leave us a voice message. Joey, one more comment. I need to figure out a way to have phone calls because Loretta Swit from MASH can do the show, but she doesn't have a computer. Seriously.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Hot Lips
That would be
Houlihan.
Yeah. Well, okay, Joey, I'm going to give you a technical hint here. I think you could do phone calls or audio like through Google Voice. I mean, she could call a phone number in Google Voice and you could do it that way. So think about that. And if you want to discuss that a little bit more, I think I could probably help you out with that. I'm a big MASH fan. I think that would be cool. But it's amazing to me she doesn't have a computer or have some assistant that does. But interesting.
Very cool.
All right. Anything else, Brady?
Nope, we're all good.
All right. Well, join us here next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We may have another face in the window next Wednesday night.
We're working on it. We don't want to reveal anything until it's all set in stone.
Yeah. So we may go back to being a 3-headed logo podcast here. We'll see. But in the works right now, you may see that third head here next week. So with that, Brady, take us out.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter @Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.